You trying to bring it down? I'm more concerned about it being crooked. Stop for me. Crooked. Yeah, bring it around.
Yeah.
No more. Just a touch. That's good. We'll get it right. It's got so much light coming in from this side. That's all right.
We live on Facebook yet?
He's gonna start it when I start the music. Get that nice together. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right, Bob.
Got it?
Wow. Check the wire on the speaker, Bob. But you had everything ready. I need the cord. Where's the cord? I don't see it up in there.
We've been through hell and back, trying to fight and love the tale. When all we really need to do is listen to each other's views on things, cause that's the only way to maintain sometimes we can't stand on our own minds. Even though I'm so tired. stood by me even when I was in myself. You still know me better than anyone. Sometimes we get stuck on our own love. Too happy to sweat and burst. Listen, when I crave but listen to one another. We made it this far. Because we wanted to make it this far. Don't walk away. And even though sometimes it was hard, boy, we stayed together. We didn't fall apart. Good love. Sometimes we get stuck on our own love. Too happy to sweat and rest. Listen, when I came and listen to one another. We made it this far. Because we wanted to make it this far. Don't walk away. And even though sometimes it was hard, boy, we stayed together. We didn't fall apart.
Welcome, welcome, and welcome. It's another edition of Love, Marriage, and Ministry. Yours truly, Apostle Derek Moon, along with my beautiful wife,
Charmaine.
my beautiful wife, Charmaine. We are in the building for another episode of Love, Marriage, and Ministry. We invite you to be a part of the conversation. This is a social media talk show, and it's an interactive talk show. So we'd love to hear your opinions and your thoughts and your input. It's an open conversation between us and you all. Whether you want to put your thoughts up on the screen, or you can call us by way of the telephone, 843-648-1239, 843-648-1239 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation we're going to be getting into on this beautiful Saturday evening. For the next 2 hours, we're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to open up the floor. We are streaming live on YouTube. We are also streaming live simultaneously on YouTube as well as Facebook. So either way that you want to be a part of the conversation, you are more than welcome. Please share the video, invite as many people as you can into the conversation. We were talking earlier today about what we were going to talk about on today, and what God gave me to talk about is the topic of protecting our children. And that's a wide statement, protecting our children, because there's so many different ways that we should be and ought to be trying to protect children in general, not just your children, but protecting as a society, protecting our children in general is what we're going to be talking about, from everything from child molestation to trafficking, physical child abuse, mental child abuse. Just what can we do as a society, as a parent? What can I do to protect my children? Some of us may have been through some hardships with our children being exposed to and being violated in different ways. Some of us may be survivors of some of that same violation and violence and different things. And we're going to talk about that. We want to talk about that on tonight. We're going to be candid. We're going to be open. We're going to be transparent. And we want you to join the conversation. If you're listening to this live with us, definitely join the conversation. If you're listening to this later on the replay by way of Exquisite Internet Radio or by podcast, and something sparks and you got a question, or later on you want to talk to us, either one of us, you can inbox us, you can call us. This is what we do. This is a part of ministry, and I thought this was a very good topic to talk about. My wife and I sat down and watched uh, Rambo: Last Blood, and it dealt with an issue that is still yet prevalent and going on in this age, which is trafficking of young children. So that's a big issue. That's a national issue. But we also have issues of domestic violence against children. We child pornography, molestation of children. This is going on. And as a church, as an entity, we've learned that you have to have certain types of insurance that make sure that you are trying to protect the welfare and the well-being of children that have to be in place legally. So we have a legal obligation as a ministry, as if you have a ministry, you have a legal obligation, whether you realize it or not, to have protocols in place to protect children. These things that are necessary. My wife is in the child care industry, and I'm sure she has a lot of insight on the rules and regulations on dealing with children. And that's a big issue for some people, sending their children out to babysitters and daycare and worrying about the safety of their children. What you say about that, baby? I can call you baby, right? We in the regular mode.
You're the one be so deep.
I'm just a
You
deep
can call me
dude.
Charmaine all day. You know, it wouldn't matter to me. But
What do you think, Charmaine, all day?
First of all, I do want to say that when it comes down to the well-being of the children, it should be at the forefront of everybody's mind. But unfortunately, that's not the case. You know, some people they're concerned more about themselves, and I've seen it in so many cases where people are more concerned about themselves than they are about the children. And we have to remember that we have an obligation as parents to protect our children, and just like we heard Derek say not too long ago, not just our children, but children around. You know, even if I'm the type of person, if I go outside and I see something taking place with little kids and stuff outside, I have something to say about it. I approach them, I say something about it, or I yell across the street, or you got to make yourself known, because in that way, it wouldn't be like predators or people that are out just like, oh well, nobody's watching and nobody's paying attention, so I can do what I want to do. But it doesn't go like that. We have to remember that there was a saying a while back that says it takes a village to raise the children. And I tell Derek all the time, I said, it's sad to say that the village seems to have gone. It seems like the village no longer exists, because if it did, then we would open up our mouth and say some things. We would open up our mouth and make it known that, okay, something is not going right, or we can see things happening, and it's our place, to say something about it. We don't want to just sit back and not have nothing to say when it's concerning the children, because the children are defenseless. They don't know how to fend for themselves. They don't know how to go and take care of themselves. That's why as parents or as adults or guardians or whatever we want to call ourselves, then guess what? We're supposed to make sure that they're good. We've seen situations where little children are homeless, and like he's from New York, and so when we go and we ride around, he took us to the areas where we see like people just homeless and different things like that, and we see little kids needing a place to stay and food and different things like that, and we think it's only in the city and different things like that, but it's not. It takes place down here too, in the low country. And so, it serves us right to at least step in and say something, to at least step in and see what we can do to help. We can't just be focused on, okay, well, my kids inside my house, they're good. So I'm not worried about them little kids I see always looking raggedy, always, going to school and looking like they're less fortunate, or going to school and looking, unkept. I'll put it like that. We don't want to be that type of people that's looking like, oh well, they probably did. We don't want. Look, I'll put it like this: we don't want to assume. we don't want to assume nothing and go back and be like, oh, well, they probably don't need no help. They probably can do better, or they probably wouldn't want this, or they probably wouldn't want that. It ain't gonna hurt nothing to ask. It ain't gonna hurt nothing to approach somebody and don't go to the children necessarily, but see if you can find out who their parents are and see if you can ease conversations in there. These days and time, you can't just go to everybody and like, oh, well, I just want to give you this because I see your kids and they look like they need this and they need that. And we can't just go to people like that, like how we could have back in the days. Remember, 'cause you can just go to people and I'm so and so down the road. I know they got some kids. I'm gonna go down and take them these clothes, and they'll be appreciative. But you can't do that these days and time because some people they like we don't need no hand me downs. You don't need to give me nothing, and that's a part of the reason why some people are skeptical about even approaching people when they see things going on with them because we as a people have gotten very very defensive when it comes down to our children and different things like that. So when it comes down to taking care of helping, and guess what, we have to do what we have to do as parents, as guardians, as adults, as the village, and we have to come back as the village and make sure that we're taking care of the children. We can't be that type of village people that's just like, oh well, don't make my kids so I ain't worrying about it. We you can't be like that. At least I'll say I can't be like that because and anybody that knows me knows, I love children, and I don't care who they are. If I see something, I talk to them. I talk to their parents. I speak to some of everybody. And sometimes Derek looking like, who is that? Who mom is that? Or who is it? I'm like, I don't even know. But hey, it don't hurt nothing to have a conversation with people. And I'm outside sometime. I like to sit outside. And when I sit outside, I see something like the younger boys passing by and the younger men they passing by and they'll be walking, they'll look you in the face and don't say nothing. I say, well, good evening, how you doing? And they don't have no choice but to say, well, hello, how you doing? And you know what that does? That makes them speak every time they come past. Because if you looking at them and you don't say nothing, then guess what? Every time they come past, they're not going to say nothing. So that's why I speak to them. I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? I just hold a conversation with them to let them know it's rude to one, walk past adults and don't say nothing. Two, to walk past adults and act like you don't see them, or to walk past children and act like you don't see them. We got to get out of that. So that was my first part, first take on that first part.
Well, we understand, like a lot of people will say things like, well, it's a different generation. These kids is something else and blah, blah, blah. And that's all true. But as we get older, we got to realize that we are looked at as some of the more elders of the village.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? Either we're gonna just step back and not say anything, or we're gonna say something. Or some people are just honestly scared to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've learned in my profession, dealing with children, cutting hair and different things, that if you say something, them kids will usually respond positive to you.
They will.
As long as you're not being rude or nasty or mean. I'm just saying something. Like when little kids come into my presence to get their hair cut, they'll walk in and get in the chair and won't say nothing if I allow that. But if I say something to them, make them realize, yeah, you're gonna have to speak to me, young man, then they'll open their mouth and say something. You know what I'm saying? They're not used to anybody saying anything. It doesn't mean that, oh my God, they might pull out a gun and shoot me if I say something. Come on, man.
Right.
Let's catch your sense and realize that it is, if we want the village to come back, then we got to bring it back.
Mm-hmm. You got to.
Nobody's going to come into our neighborhoods and bring back a village atmosphere. It's got to be something that we want. We are the village. So it's either we're showing up or we're not showing up. And 9 times out of 10, we're just not showing up. 9 times out of 10, we're not concerned about anybody outside of our household. We're not concerned about the neighbor's kids, the neighborhood kids. It's like we say, the way we live at, it's a courtyard. So a lot of times the kids are playing. They have a safe little area to play in the courtyard. And it's within the eyesight of any adult that happen to be looking out their back window, the sliding glass door, whatever the case may be. So those are our children. Mm-hmm. And if we don't see it as our children, this is why we've gotten to the point where trafficking is such a an abundant thing going on.
Yes.
Child molestation, child pornography, all these things, because we're not concerned. What would you do if you happen to be passing by your window and you see somebody aggressively grabbing a child and putting them in the back of a van?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It might not be your child. All your children might be in their rooms. They good. But I have to feel some kind of concern about the children. See, when the topic is protecting our children.
Yeah.
So I'm not just talking about my children. I didn't say protecting my children. God didn't say protecting my children. He said us. We have to protect our children.
Yep.
We have to be outraged when something goes on. We just were watching about the young girl. Oh my God, I can't remember her name.
Which one?
The new Netflix documentary.
Oh, the girl that went to jail?
Yeah.
Centoya?
Centoya looked something like that. I'm gonna watch it again anyway. But we were watching that, and what happened to kind of bring a synopsis in case you haven't seen it or heard about it.
You have to watch it.
The young girl was dealing in some low-level prostitution, being manipulated by men. She was only 14 years old. 14 years old. 14 years old. She's out on the street. You know, she's running back and forth, running away from home. She's adopted. She already comes from a broken home. She has a lot of issues, but she's being used, and she winds up killing one of her Johns, as they would say.
But okay, let them know that she was a crack baby because her mama drank all the way up to 8 months, and when she was 9 months pregnant,
she started crack.
She drank all the way up to 8 months, and in her 8th month, she started smoking crack. So when the little girl was born, she was already having mental issues, and she was a crack baby.
Right. But the long story short, she wound up, because she was scared that the man was going to kill her after having sex with her. She thought he was reaching for a gun, which he had a bunch of them just all over the place.
Laying around.
And that's all he kept talking to her about, is what he's going to do with his guns, blase, laying them all around. But she was in fear of her life, and she shot him because she thought he was going to shoot her. Mm-hmm. Long story short, she did about 15, 20, almost 20 years. No, almost 15 years in jail. I think like 13 to the point when she got out. When she actually got out, she was 30 years old. So, boom, there you go. Almost 15 years in jail, you know. But the point I'm making is that this is just one story of a child that slips through the cracks. One story of a child that instead of protecting them, we're using them.
Right.
Instead of a grown man, instead of saying, well, man, where's your mama? Where's your daddy? Why you not home? It's like, well, how much? How long can I do what I want to do with you? And that's all we're concerned about. We're not protecting our children. When we see children out on the street, are we concerned that they're homeless? Are we concerned that they're runaways? Are we saying something to them? Are we putting programs within the ministry to help these kind of children? Are we creating safe havens for them to run to? Do we have hotlines available for runaways to be able to call? Are we just allowing whatever to happen, long as it ain't my kids? This is what we're talking about, protecting our children. Yeah. Protecting our children from what's going on. There are sexual predators all over the place. It's like our children are literally living in the den of wolves.
Yeah.
And it's coming from every angle. And then when you get into society, music industry, film and television, of how they make our children want to be so adult. Mm-hmm. They make our children feel like they gotta be this grown woman. We want to look like women, and we think it's cute to take our baby girls and put all kinds of makeup and nails and hair on them and make them look so much older than they actually are. So it's like putting barbecue sauce on the meat and then don't expect the wolves to come after it. Right. It don't make sense. We're setting it out there. We're setting a display out, and then we're not even bothered when the wolves come and knock it. It doesn't even stir us up. I mean, watching that, it stirred me up. It stirred me up to see what children are going through, and then they get caught up into the judicial system, who doesn't mind trying, especially our children, like adults. Mm-hmm. Easily. You hear more cases of our children being tried as adults That doesn't even infuriate us.
And let me tell you, when you said that, it was another thing I was watching, and these four boys, and I think that the youngest was like 13, and then the other boys was 15. And what they did was the black boy was homeless. He was living on the streets, and the three white boys came up to him, and they was like, well, they made it seem like they wanted to help him out and get him off the streets and different things like that, and told him they'd give him a place to stay and different things like that. And he was cool with it because he was homeless. And when it got down to it, what they did was they already been out and about all day long, and they were plotting against people that they were going to rob. So they'd already robbed somebody earlier that day and stole the person's car. And when they stole that person's car, they picked the black boy up. And when they picked the black boy up, and they took him, they went and robbed this guy who was at an 18 machine and shot him in the head. And when they shot the man in the head, they left him for dead right there. Now, when they went back to go back and check all of this, guess what they did? They was like, well, one of the boys was too short, he couldn't have done it, it probably wasn't him. The other boy, and they were saying that three white boys, there's no way possible, that we can convict them. But the black boy, they convicted him. He didn't do nothing. He was just in the car. The other guys was the one that went and robbed other people and shot the other guy. But because the black boy, I think the black boy was like 15, and because he was either 14 or 15. However, to make a long story short, they didn't do nothing to the three white guys. They convicted the black guy and give him life in prison. He's 14 years old. He's homeless. He don't have no family, no nothing. And they give him life in prison and let the other three go because they assume that, there's no way that they could have done this. It was probably the black guy.
And that's the sad part, that this is more commonplace than anything else, that our children are being tried like adults, because we're leaving them defenseless.
Yep.
We're leaving them out there to be victim, to be preyed upon, because the village has just quit. The village just stopped.
Yeah.
Ain't no more Big Mama looking out the window. Even on the block, we had mothers and grandmothers that would be out the window. Just, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm retired or whatever. They park right to their window and look at what's going on the block. And if something ain't right, phone's gonna start ringing.
Oh yeah.
If somebody come on the block, don't look right, phones start ringing. That's the neighborhood I came up in. And I'm talking about in the middle of Harlem. That's the atmosphere we were brought up in, where people were, we call it today, we say, oh, they so nosy. Yeah, we need some more nosy people.
We need some nosy neighbors.
We need some nosy people. So when somebody's sneaking in my back door, my phone gonna ring because I'm at work and somebody gonna tell me something.
Yep.
See, but we are so satisfied with accepting the now, which is so popular because of the situation we're in. We have embraced the word social distancing. But the reality of it, we've been social distancing for a while now. So that's why being able to accept the words is easy for us, because we've been distancing ourselves. We've been going in the house and shut the door. We've been put the blinds down and mind our business. Very few people are like my wife that would just open up. When she get up, blinds coming open, everything's opening up. Most of us really want people to, I don't want nobody looking in my house like that. We so busy worried about who looking in. You realize you got to open the blinds to look out too, you know? So many of us are not concerned about looking out into the world and seeing what's going on. If we're not concerned about what's going on around your door, you definitely ain't concerned about what's going on in the world.
Okay.
We get up, and the only window we open is windows on our phone.
That's it.
That's the only window we concerned in looking at. We're not really looking out the window to see what's going on. When I hear voices, when I hear them little children outside playing, I look. I always look. They outdoor, they out the front. I go look out the kitchen window, see who's out there, who's playing, what they doing. To make sure it's children I recognize, because I know all the little children that play around. I don't know them all by name, but I guarantee I know them visually. I know all the teenagers that walk by. So if I start seeing people that look out of place, I'm gonna open my door and stand there first of all and assess the situation. What's going on here?
Stay them down.
Oh yeah. What you doing around? And if they bold enough to lock eyes with him and say, "You looking for somebody? What going on? You living out here?" Because I ain't scared to say I ain't never seen you.
Right.
And you all in the back area, in the courtyard.
Right.
I'm going to say something. That's the kind of almost 50 person I am.
Yep. Almost 50.
I'm going to say something because this is my neighborhood. I'm concerned about who's around my house. Because if something get broke into, I'm going to at least have a description of some people that didn't look familiar to me. Because those are questions that the police ask. This is all a part of protecting our children. I have to know who's around me. I have to know. There's a lot of little children. I don't have no babies. Our youngest is 14.
Yeah.
Our youngest is 14. So them little toddlers out there, them little elementary school kids, I'm concerned about them. They might not be mine, but I don't want to see no harm come to them. Because we speak to their parents when they come by. It don't matter if people don't speak to us. See, because being the village means all I got to do is hold down my corner.
Yep.
I ain't going to go to everybody's door and say, hey, you be speaking to people? You need to be speaking to people. When people come by your door, I'm not here to do that, but I'm going to speak to people. See, we can't control what the world is doing, but I can control what I do. So I'm not going to point the finger at what I do because the world do this, that.
Right.
I don't speak to people because they don't speak to me. You foolish.
Yeah.
That's a foolish thing to say.
Sounds crazy.
That's a foolish thing to say. If God did that, we'd be in trouble. Because we sure didn't love on God when he came.
All right.
We wasn't loving on Jesus. So if Jesus came out here and he was like man, that's why I'm glad the word say God is not like man. If Jesus was like man, he was like, man, I went down there, daddy, but them jokers was spitting on me and calling me names.
Right.
Do what you want with them. Burn them, drown them, I don't care.
And look how it sounds when you even say it like that. It's like they're talking about me, they're saying things.
Hello.
Like, okay, what you gonna grow up or you gonna stay right there in that little state?
And this is how foolish we sound when we take our bad choices, bad decisions, because it's a decision to speak to someone or not. It's a decision to be concerned about someone or not. And we take our bad decisions and we blame it on, well, that's just how the world is. No, it's how you are.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the world and I try not to be like that.
That's right.
So don't say it's the world because I'm a part of the world. And if just one of us is not doing it, then all of us are not doing it.
That's right.
See, we got this lumping in kind of thing going on. And until somebody gets snatched out your world, you don't recognize things like trafficking.
Okay.
Because your people ain't getting trafficked. But what about the people that live in areas where they're reaping up children like a harvest, like we go into tomato fields back in Buford and go into cucumber fields and reap up vegetables. They're reaping our children up like that. And the ones that are getting by and getting past the traffickers are getting caught up in something else. And then the judicial system is reaping up the rest of them.
Okay.
We got to understand. I don't mean to sound like I'm on the soapbox, but I am passionate about what I'm saying. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm preaching. I'm not preaching, but I'm conversating. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this topic. I want to hear what you have to say about protecting our children, because we got to look out for our children. This is on a wider scope, but let's bring it home. Let's bring it on into the house about being able to protect our children from predators within our own family.
Oh, yeah.
What about the predators that are within our own family? If my uncles and cousins are the ones coming at me, grabbing on me and pulling me into rooms and sitting me on their laps, and it don't matter if it's male or female, because abuse is abuse across the board. So what about that? Are we protecting our children? You know what I'm saying? If I know of a child in my family and I find out something happened, no, I ain't saying, oh, I'm gonna take life and control in my own hand and I'm gonna take somebody's life. No, because I don't plan to spend the rest of my life in jail. That ain't gonna do nobody no good. But if you don't think I'm gonna file a report against uncle, brother, whoever he is that I find out, if you don't think I won't go into the courtroom and testify against that foul individual, my name ain't Moon. I'll be right there with my suit on, testifying against you. I don't care who you are. If you that low to do something to a child, I don't care. We could be blood relatives. I'll testify against you in a heartbeat. I'll file the papers. I'll file the papers without problem, without even hesitation. because our children, corny as it sounds, are our future. I don't want my future legacy to be damaged.
Right.
I don't want it to be crippled. I don't want it to be offset by something that I could have protected
and prevent it.
them from. Because at the end of the day, that is my job, to protect my children. Once they get grown, if they put themselves in harm's way, I can't stop that.
Mhm.
I can't follow my 3 adult children. I can't get in my car and every time they pull out, I pull out. Well, she ain't left yet, so she ain't grown yet. She is of age, but she ain't grown yet. But once they leave out my house, once they done, cross that threshold and they have their own house, they have to be able to make decisions. But the ones that are in here are under my protection. They're under my, as we say in legal terms, they're under my jurisdiction.
Yep.
So as long as they're under my jurisdiction, I'm going to do what I can to protect them. And we have to understand that we have an obligation to protect our children. All the stories that came through, it always hurts my heart when I hear of young girls being raped or molested and then their parents not believing them.
Right.
That bothers me.
Because they love the man so
That
much.
bothers
They love the
me.
people so.
That bothers me to the core. That bothers me because that to me that's just so mind-boggling that you would not even get an emotional response to somebody doing something to your child. You so fearful of being lonely or being without whatever it is this dude or this female is giving you, that overrides your parental instinct. Some people's parental instinct is already gone. It's done. You done smoked all your parental instincts away. You done shot up all your you done sniffed up every bit of your parental instinct. Man, I couldn't even imagine being that way. I couldn't even imagine. But we are allowing our children. You might have, it might not be in your household, but it might be in your neighbor's household. How do you feel about that? You knowing this is going on, man, they got all kind of anonymous hotlines. I'd be on them.
Yeah.
I'd be on them. I don't care if the people come into your house every other day. Every time I see something out of place and it's dealing with children, hey, apartment so-and-so, yeah, I be hearing some stuff.
And you know what I've come to realize, a lot of times when you watch like different shows and different things like that, and you see this taking place, or even you experience it yourself, a lot of times things has happened to the adult themselves, and they never dealt with that issue. And so because they never dealt with that issue, and they're feeling like, well, it didn't do that much harm to me, so I know it might happen to one of my kids, but they'll get over it. Or we get into that situation where things happen to us in our family life, or some kind of molestation or different things that happen to us, and we never talk about it. We never address it. We never say anything about that situation, or we never even talk to our children and be like, this is what happened to me in such and such a time. I was such and such age and this happened and it wasn't okay. Sometimes we don't address those things that happen to us, so we don't really pay no attention when it comes down to our own children. We just like go with the flow, and we shouldn't. We should address it if it was something that happened, and stop covering things up in your homes. Stop acting like
for some foolish family. I don't even know what you call it.
Family secret. This our family secret, and
we ain't gonna turn our family. Man, I'm gonna turn you in with the quick.
Yeah, don't be covering up things like that, because guess what? If an uncle or auntie is one of them, it's like, okay, listen, this one right here, I know they done did their time in jail and different things like that. But at the same time, I want you to stay 10 feet. This could be a good time for your social distance.
For sure.
This your social distance.
For sure. We know cousin so-and-so, uncle so-and-so. He used to mess with Lil Churn back in the day, and he still like him. He still like him. So we gonna keep the churn away from him at the barbecue. Yeah. We gonna keep an eye on him. We gonna make sure somebody got. Everybody, y'all know Uncle so-and-so here.
Yeah.
Everybody keep an eye. We gonna get together on that before he show up.
Yeah, man.
When he come in, everybody, I'm making eye contact. You see?
You got somebody on post on every
Yes, sir.
four corners like,
Pay
hey,
attention.
if Uncle,
See,
so and so want
the
to
old
take
folks would have been like, hey,
That's how
you see Johnny over there? Watch him. Old folks would have been. Old folks ain't got no tact. They just calling it out. Y'all know, he just get home. Keep an eye on him.
You like to feel him churn.
You can't trust him churn around him. Somebody he going to the bathroom. Watch him.
Yeah, man.
Old folks, hey. I'm definitely that kind of old folk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna get somebody attention when it comes to these babies, because these babies ain't did nothing and don't deserve that kind of foolishness that people like to inflict on them. And it's just too much going on with our children.
Right.
It's too much harm coming to our children, and we getting so desensitized. We are just acting like it's just normal. We not saying nothing. It's something wrong. Something wrong, and we got to bring the village back.
Oh yeah,
This is why
I like Rashima's comment. She said that's what we were taught to do. What goes on in this house, stay in this house. And she said big mistake.
That's for sure.
It definitely is, because a lot of times, we try to cover up things. And y'all, let me tell y'all this. It's probably a little off to the left a little bit. Let me tell you something. I found out, because my grandmother has quite a few children. She actually had 9 children, and one died when we were much younger. But all the time, I'm thinking that they all had the same dad, not knowing that my mama had a whole nother different daddy from everybody else, and my mom is the oldest. And so I never even knew this, and I had to been good 30 when I found out that she didn't have the same dad as everybody else. And back then my grandma and them, they used to talk like, y'all better not be having all them churn and having them churn out of wedlock, and I'm saying to myself, well, oh man, they must not have never done nothing like that. And then after you start digging in and questioning things, you be like, well, why my mama look, my mama the dark skinned one, or she a little darker than the rest of the brothers and sisters and different things like that. And then when you start investigating things, then you find out, like Bam said, then you find out what you found out when you found out what you found out.
Yes, sir.
What was really going on. And the mistake in all of that is covering up. And because when you covering all of that kind of stuff up, you don't know if people start having children and different things like that. Next thing you know, they done going to get involved or going to have a baby with somebody that is family members. And now we're trying to figure out why our children coming out a little slow, having special needs.
Don't even know who their family
because
is.
They didn't know that they got involved with their first cousin, because we cover up things. We don't let people know who their real parents is, or we don't let people know, what's really going on or what really took place. And we gotta quit that. We gotta quit covering up different things and stuff like that. Let them people know. Let them know what's really going on. Hey, this ain't your real daddy, or this ain't your real mama, and this right here happened, and different things like that. Sometimes, people might not want to hear it. And sometimes that individual might be like, well, I didn't want them to know that I wasn't really their parent.
We need the truth.
You got to tell them so they'll know what's going on, because eventually, guess what? Kids get old enough and they can Google things for their own. They can find things on their own. They can figure out things on their own.
Back to the matter. Our past generations, they got our families jacked up, man.
But covering up.
They got all our families jacked up. All our families jacked up. When I found out my grandma that raised us wasn't really my grandma. She was actually my auntie. Mm-hmm. She's actually my grand aunt, because her sister and my grandfather's sister each gave them one child, because she was barren. She couldn't have no kids. So each of them gave them a son. Who does that? Mm. Who does that? And both of my uncle and my daddy grew up. One was a stone cold alcoholic, and the other one grew up a stone drug addict. Who just give? And my grandmother, my auntie, my grand auntie, my grandma. She raised us, but she in on false paperwork, technically she's my auntie. She was not a good person. She was a gambler. She used to go to card party. She was that chick on the block. And I'm not saying this is the atmosphere you won't give your child up to this person? You love them that much. Oh, you can't have no babies? Take one of mine. Where they do that at?
In your household.
Where they do that at? I'm talking about protecting the children.
Give him a child.
How you protecting the children? Now, all of them dead. Uncle dead, daddy dead, grandma, granddad, they all dead. So it don't even matter. They all dead. But the situation, when you think about the situation that they were given into,
Mm-hmm.
how are you protecting the children?
Mm-hmm.
And then these people come up, and these are our generation. That's my daddy and my uncle, raised like brothers. One was from the South, one was from up north. Here you go. I got plenty. Here, take this one.
What? The color purple.
We all jacked up. I ain't even gonna get into my mama's side of the family. When I started digging, trying to put a family reunion together, things I was finding
I
out,
was disappointed.
I just stopped.
You're like, no,
I ain't want to know no more.
Don't tell me no more. Don't
I ain't want to know no more. I ain't want to know no more.
more.
I got aunties that was my mama had a first cousin, which was her sister. Granddaddy just humping all kind of sisters going on. I'm like, what happened to protecting the children? Oh my God.
Oh man.
So it's almost to the point where you got to just cut off the past and just live for now and do better by the next generation. We have to protect our children because we all got history. I'm not saying nobody's history is better than ours. My family situations ain't no worse than nobody else's.
Right.
So I mean, even trying to paint that picture. But we're talking about looking ahead and being able to protect our children, to bring back the unity of the neighborhood, not just the family, y'all. Not just not just having your immediate family, but I'm talking about your area, wherever you are in this world, having concern about your neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Protecting all of our children, feeling some sense of outrage when things are done to children.
Yep.
Having some sense of a moral compass to say, you know what, I can't physically do something about that, but I can at least pray.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there's a hotline, I ain't too scared to not to call that hotline and report. I hear something going on next door, and I'm looking at these children. I'm seeing how the way they coming out this house every day.
Mm-hmm.
They look like, hey, they call me nosy, call me what you want. You better move if you don't want me to be in your business. You bring it about my front door. I got a right to say something.
Yeah, because I know when this whole pandemic started and then the kids were out of school and like the first week, the kids was like mixing up every day. I see the kids outside. Second week, every day I see the kids outside from must be about 9 o'clock in the morning. You look out there throughout the day, they're still out there. Late at night, the kids still out there. So one day I was like, the kids was out there playing, and I try to ease in my little sly comment. I said, well, y'all outside, y'all did y'all work today, y'all did y'all homework today. I say things like that to let them know, look, I'm watching, I see y'all out here every day, and I'll never see y'all in the house doing your schoolwork and different things. Or when I pass by, I say things like, you doing good in school? How you doing in school? Well, make sure you're doing good in school. You say things to them to let them know, listen, at least somebody's paying attention.
And a lot of them trying to be appreciating that concern.
Yeah.
They'll come and say and come speak to you because they know you ask questions. You're concerned about what they got going on.
Because believe it or not, when I was coming through school, I didn't really have nobody there that was like super concerned about my grades and different things like that. My auntie Linda, God bless her dead, was the one that was like helping me with my homework. She helping me with my math and social studies. Those are the only two different subjects that I was having an issue with. So, when I was going through school, it was like, I don't care if I get my report card or not, because nobody looking at it. Nobody really going to pay no attention. So I come home. If they ask for my report card, I give it to them. If they don't ask for my report card, I don't give it to them. And I went through school, and I remember I was going, they had like 9th grade prom. And so I wanted to go to the 9th grade prom so bad. And I was like, man, I was afraid. Y'all hear that? I was afraid to ask my mom to like, mama, I want to go to, the 9th grade prom. We was living walking distance from our school. So I was afraid to even ask her, about going there. And then I eventually I think it was like coming up to a few days, coming up to the prom. No, it was like a week before the prom. And I remember I went to her, I said, Mama, um, I want to go to our ninth grade prom. And she said, going to the prom. Girl, I ain't got no dress for you to wear to no prom. So I went in the room and I was, let me
Wow.
tell you something. I was so sad. I was broke. I was hurt. And so me and my cousin Dwayne, we talked about it and we were like, well, we still want to go anyway. We still want to go to the prom anyway. And so I went back to her again. And I went back and said, Mama, me and Dwayne going to the prom. And I just want to know if you can help me get something to wear to the prom. My mama said, go in that closet and get one of my dresses and wear it. And because I wanted to go so bad, I was like, well, I guess that's what I had to do. And I never forget it. And let me tell y'all something. If anybody knows something about me, I hate to see people with black stockings and white shoes on for this reason right here.
Unless they're going to the prom.
I went in the closet and I was like, well, this the best dress. And I wish I could find that picture. I was like, well, this the best dress, she got in the closet. So she had this purple dress in there. And I wore this purple dress with some black stockings. It was jet black stockings and some white shoes. Y'all, I was so hurt. My cousin had on a red button-up shirt with his black bow tie. I was so, happy just to go, and I went to the prom. And then when I look back on that picture and I thought about it years later when I see that picture, I was like, that's sad, because when people not taking an interest in what you're doing or are you in school and different things like that, it make you feel like, okay, I gotta do something different here. We're either gonna let our past and let the things that our parents do to us, it's either gonna make us go in their direction or it's gonna make us go in a different direction. And I chose to go in a different direction. And it wasn't a bad direction, it was just a direction where I felt like, okay, I saw that this wasn't working and this wasn't good. So I'm gonna go in a different direction. And I'm gonna make sure that when I go in this direction, the things that happen to me, I'm not gonna allow it to affect me or affect my children or affect my children's children. We have to at some point say, okay, this might have happened back then, but I don't want it to take place right now in my life or right now with my children, right now in my future. So, we can allow things to happen to us when we're young and allow it to affect our lives for the rest of our lives, or we can break those generational curses. And I truly believe to this day that we can break those generational curses. We can break them things off our lives. We don't have to follow in the footsteps of our parents that always say, do as I say, not as I do. Because they was good for saying that back then.
Yes,
do as I
my
say and
mama
not
lived
as
by
I
it.
do. So we watching them do different things. And you looking like, do what you say, but not what you do. You telling me not to smoke, but you smoking.
Yes,
You
sir.
telling me not to drink, but you drinking. And so at some point we like, well, I want to feel what they feeling. I want to
I want
see
to be
why they're
grown. I
doing.
want to be grown. That's what the grown folks do.
So we got to at some point in our lives be like, okay, they might have done this, but I choose not to live that way. I choose not to go in those directions. So it's up to us to let our things in the past damage us to the point of no return, because some things can damage us, but we can come back from it. We can come back. We can bounce back from those kind of things.
And the thing we have to realize that, somebody might be listening and saying, well, that ain't nothing. You just had to go to the prom with the black sock. But a lot of people have been pushed away for less.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what it's going to take in a child's mind to make them say, that's it, I got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some children can't take that much, that much hurt or that much pain. So these are the situations that we allow to happen because of selfishness and pride. We say things, hurtful things, and not caring about how the child is receiving it.
Right.
There's so many things that were said to us, back in the days. Old folks ain't care how they talk, drunken parents or high parents. They don't care how they talk. They say whatever, you take it how you take it.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the things what do you think runs children out of the house? You know what I'm saying? This type of abuse, whether it be mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, abuse will run you out of situations and into worse situations. And this is us not taking time out. Let me bring it back to the church, because we should have some type of program, especially if we are our big churches with so much going on. How much effort, energy, and funding are you putting into programs to really help children?
Mhm.
Is your insurance in place with protective protocols for children?
Mhm.
We have things going on in ministries right now in lawsuits for not protecting children.
Yep.
There are rules that have to be in place and adhered to within your ministry
It does.
to protect children. It's a lot of people who have been sued and have cases that they have lost for not protecting children.
Yep.
I learned this by going through the insurance situation, getting our insurance straight. I gained so much knowledge
Yep.
of things that could happen that you got to protect yourself of. And see what the good insurance companies do as cases are being lost and won, they start putting clauses and different things into the insurance because it might have been something you didn't have to worry about being covered before,
Yep.
but a situation came up, a case came up, so now they're like, oh, you're gonna need this, you're gonna need this, because this could happen. There's certain rules. Let's talk about the rules when it comes to churches, daycares, and stuff like that. There are rules in place in how you handle children, how you deal with children, your physical presence,
Yeah, man.
closing of doors and leaving doors open, taking children to the bathroom. All that is very intricate and very detailed.
Yep.
And a lot of times we're running ministries and we have no idea because we think it's cool just to get us a building, pop up some chairs, and get to preaching. But people are bringing their children into the building, and as the leader, you are responsible
Not to be.
for what happens to those children
Yes, sir.
while they're in your church. You can stand up behind that pulpit all you want and say, I don't know who's going in and out of that bathroom. Okay. But when that lawsuit comes, you're gonna wish you had somebody on it. I'm telling you, these are things we learned from talking to the insurance agent. I didn't know it was that serious, but it is very much that serious.
It is.
You got to have clauses and things. It ain't just as bad like going to get some general insurance.
Mhm.
It ain't that. You got to get some serious insurance that has things worded right to protect, especially when it comes to protecting children.
And if it's like that with legally, when it comes down to insurance, why don't we think it would be like that when it comes down to our children in our own home? Why would you not want to have that kind of protection to make sure that your children are good, to make sure that your village is good, not just your children, but we want to make sure that our village is good too. You know, we don't want to just be the type of people that's just like, oh, well, hey, that you look like you could work with kids. Why don't you go over there and work with them kids? And them
Oh,
be
you
the
like
type-
turn? Yeah, they do like them.
Yeah, they like them.
They like them a little too much.
We got to be very careful when it comes down to different things like that. Not just in our homes, but it's just like you heard Derek say this now, in our church life as well. You can't just have everybody say, well, I'll go in the baby room. I'll be a little skeptical about the people that's, well, I'll take the babies.
Too quick to volunteer.
Let me take the babies.
Yeah,
I'd
because
be
people
like-
be doing stuff to infants.
I be looking at them like, why you want to take the babies so? Why you want to be with
You're a
them
little
so?
too excited.
Yeah, you too anxious to be wanting to. Nah, we'll put you someplace else. We'll put you someplace else. Why? Because how people say, if you feel something and something don't feel right,
It don't feel right.
if it don't feel right, don't let them go. He's like, nah, I got something else that I want
Maybe
you
next
to do,
time. Let me
I got somebody else.
put an
that I
eye
want
on
you
this
to do.
situation.
Yeah, and there's nothing. Let me tell you something. It's nothing wrong with, guess what? Putting cameras up.
Oh, you better
You
get
better
some.
put some
You better
cameras
get
up.
some.
Put some cameras in. If we got those big old sanctuary, put some cameras in them baby room.
Yes,
Put some
sir.
cameras in them infant rooms.
You worry about
room.
putting cameras so people can see how much people in
Yeah,
your
you better put some
congregation.
cameras in them closed rooms.
Man, please.
Put them in the hallway. Put them up. To keep you protected.
Two places you better have some cameras: the baby room and the money room. You better know what. You better know what's going on in them two rooms.
Yeah, true.
Sure.
I agree. Yes. So it's nothing wrong with protecting yourself, because when it comes down to it, you want to be protected. When we're on that level now, you want to be protected when it comes down to
For sure.
what's going on when it comes
For sure.
down to sanctuaries, churches,
Yeah.
you know, because you
We're
have
so
to make
busy
sure
trying
you're
to get the
covered.
pictures of the sanctuary. We want to see
Yeah.
the congregation. Let them see that we got people up in it.
And let them see
Man,
us shouting. No.
When that lawsuit come, you ain't gonna worry. Them seats gonna be empty,
Mhm.
empty when that lawsuit come down the
Because
pipe.
and the crazy part about it is all it's gonna take is for you to get a lawsuit. And guess what? They gotta post, they gotta tell it. So once you get the lawsuit and it says so and so's church has been found guilty of child misconduct,
Mhm.
and people be looking like, see, that's why I never wanted to go to that. I know it was something about it. People always want to be
Yeah,
the
they gonna
after
say
the
that.
fact prophet because
Yes,
they feel
sir.
like, oh, I know it. No, you ain't that know nothing.
A late
You
prophet.
know, because they
After the fact.
gotta report it. So guess what? Because you didn't take precautions, not only are you going to be sued, but now everybody's going to know what you're being sued for.
Oh yeah.
And all they got to do is say for child misconduct.
You
Now
can
people
Google. You can pick up your
people
phone
looking
right
at
now
you bad.
and Google child misconduct in churches and see how many things come up.
Yep.
See how many lawsuits have been lost and won. See how many lawsuits are in action right now.
Yep.
You'd be surprised. You would be thoroughly surprised. Well, maybe you might not be because maybe you're just numb to it all. You know, it's not. It's just, oh yeah, that's what they be doing.
That not be.
This is how we be feeling. Oh, you know, them churches. That's how. I'm talking about the rage that we should feel that this is going on.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's in the church, in the school, or at my house. I don't want no children being mistreated in any, especially in some sexual way.
Oh God, no.
My God, I'm outraged regardless of where I find the offense.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be outraged about the offense, not where it's at, but that it exists. Period.
Yep.
And we got to be willing to want you to do something about it, not just talk about it. We're opening up this platform, using this platform to bring conversation, bring awareness to it, because it's gotten way out of hand.
Yes,
when you could take a 14-year-old child who is clearly not in her right mind, clearly in fear, and then you take her whole childhood from her, she's already hurting.
With no remorse.
And you take a whole child, now she finally gets out 30 years old, and now she is doing more for advocacy against child trafficking than most of us are doing. And we ain't never went to jail for nothing like that. We've been free all this time, and we ain't even yet upset. Mm-hmm. And what I liked about the documentary, they were saying at her age and what she went through, today's standard would consider her a victim.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, when she was 14, they considered her a prostitute.
Yep.
She was just another prostitute, 14 years old, just another prostitute.
Now it's called trafficking, because if you take them people or them young people from by wherever they may be and take them someplace else and do what you want to do with them, you're a trafficker.
And she's a beautiful young black lady. She's mixed, as my wife said. She ain't all the way black. Her mama is white, like deal with black men anyway. Her grandmama same way. They would be considered in terms as, let's like we poor niggas, they would be white trash. So the judicial system could care less anyway. So if we're not willing to protect our children, we think somebody else gonna do it. And when we give up, it's like almost like we have, as a society, we have given up our parental rights. Yep. And now our children just are victims of the system. They were harping on her being a prostitute, taking this man's life. Forget the fact that this is a grown white man, not just dabbling in prostitution, but he's going for children. Children. A 14-year-old child, not going to get a lady of the evening. You know what I'm saying? Not going to get one of them seasoned hookers. He trolling for children.
Children.
Come on, man. Where the protection at? Yep. Where the protection at? It's crazy. And the boy who was her boyfriend that pushed her to go out there, he only 20 years old himself. And like he, you know, all out there and aware of what's going on. I'm thinking of how I was when I was 20, and he getting high every day, sleeping with his little 14-year-old girlfriend. Yes. He think he doing it big.
You already wrong.
He the one telling you need to get out there and get some money. He done seen Hustle and Flow, so he want to get his little hooker on. You
Well,
know,
he had say it's hard out here.
yeah, must be.
Can I say phone?
And they was out where they been at. They been out in the middle of somewhere, Tennessee, pimping and hoeing. Man, stop. Children. I'm pretty sure if they go get that young man and find out about his story, I'm sure his story is just as bad.
Yeah, man.
I'm pretty sure he done been through some things. He got a twisted idea of what society is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't see nothing wrong with what he was doing. Because this is what happens when the village goes away.
Yep.
This is what happened. These are two children in my mind. I'm looking at two victims.
Yep.
These are children that were not protected. These are children that were left out to their own devices.
Yeah. And then when you look at it, when you go back and you look at it, you will see that it didn't just start with the young lady that went to prison. It was her mother,
they talked to her mama and her grandmama.
They talked to her grandmother.
And both of them been jacked up.
And none of them had her. Somebody else had to adopt her.
There was another black lady.
A black lady was raising her, trying to help her along the way. And she loved the black lady, but she was still fighting the demons.
She couldn't control. They said
she's
whatever
14.
They called it some kind of alcohol syndrome. It's when so much alcohol is introduced to the mother's bloodstream, it really messes the baby up. It's a technical term for it. Some type of syndrome that's why they argued the case. On top of the fact that last month she was just getting into crack in the 9th month.
Right.
But the child and the woman has a problem controlling her impulses.
Mm-hmm.
When her impulse, when they talked to her, she said a lot of times she could sit right here and you could tell her, don't do this, don't do that. She said, oh, yeah, I know. And 5 seconds later, she's doing it and she controls herself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is her mental state. This is her mental state. These are just one of the things that can happen.
Yes.
Of the billions and billions of things that are happening every day to our children. This is one story out of 800 million stories that are going on a daily basis to our children. Not just our children, children across the board.
Yes.
Do you realize how many Hispanic children are abducted on a regular basis in this child trafficking? And they're not even in a society where they can have a good judicial system that someone's even looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, little Lupe gone? Well, they took Consuela last week. That's just what happens. Like, you got to be kidding me. And if that doesn't outrage you, if you're a parent and that doesn't light some kind of emotional response, then I know we got problems.
Yeah, because even in the Rambo movie that we was watching, when the girl, she done contacted her friend who was in the States, she's in Mexico, and she contacts her and is like, look,
and she
because
looking for
people
her daddy.
play on your weakness,
She looking for her real daddy.
And because she was looking for her dad, her friend was like, oh, well, I know where he's at. And even after, she's got people that is loving her, concerned with her, and telling her, listen, don't go back over there because this person is that way and this person's that way. But some people's curiosity.
But that yearning, that desire to know her father was just too much.
It was overpowering.
In my opinion, in a situation like that, I would have been the one. I would have said, well, come on, I'll take you down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you just go.
But she went on her own.
She went on her own, but still, what I'm saying is they should have recognized and saw the passion that she had to find out. Even if she needs to find out that this dude ain't no good, she needs to find that out so she can be free of that yearning and that desire.
Because it's like when you have a connection with your children, it's an instinct that you feel when it's like, something just ain't right. Because let me tell y'all, let me give y'all an example. I remember when Amani was younger, and Amani went to go spend the night with a family member, and nobody done nothing to her, nothing like that. But while I was asleep, I got real sick in my sleep when I was sleeping, and I got up and I started, throwing up and different things. I'm like, why I feel so bad all of a sudden? So when I woke up, I called to check on her. And when I called to check on her, before I called to check on her, I kept saying, I got to check on Monty and make sure she okay, make sure she fine. And when I called to check on her, my aunt was like, Monty not feeling too good. She been throwing up all night. She been sick, all night, and I don't even know why. And it was already something inside me that was feeling like something wasn't right with her. And guess what I say? I'll be there in a few minutes. And guess what I did? I went and got her. And it wasn't nothing that was going on. It was just because you have a
Motherly
connection
instinct. Yeah,
with
you
your
gotta,
child,
you got a
just like
motherly
the word you
instinct.
use. You have that instinct as a parent, and you feel like something just ain't sitting right with me. And parents, let me tell you something. When something ain't sitting right with you, you better check it. And after you check it, go back and check it again because it's a reason why. Remember, when we give birth to our children as women, our children are connected to our lifeline. And our lifeline is the umbilical cord. And just in case you don't know, it's through the navel. That's our lifeline. So because they're connected to our lifeline like that, when something is going on with them, we'll feel it. When something is going on, it's like you can't get settled. And I'll say me. I can't get settled. I can't get settled because it's like, let me go and see what's going on. Every once in a while, you gotta go in there and have conversations with your children. You gotta go in there and ask those questions that you probably weren't asked when you were a teenager. You gotta go in there and have that birds and the bees conversation with the children because some of us didn't have the bird. Who taught to me about, like we say back in the days, the birds and the bees? Nobody sat down and had the birds and bees conversation with me. Nobody. Nobody had the conversation about me with me about the women having their monthly and different things like that. I had to go to my oldest sister, and my oldest sister had to tell me what to do. Then when it came down to me when I had my daughters, when I had Amani, I was so nervous about the whole situation. I had to get on the phone and call my oldest sister and like, listen, tell me what to do. What am I supposed to do? Because she already had a daughter older than my oldest daughter. So when we looking at situations like that, we as parents, we gotta stop all them things that happened to us in our past. We gotta be like, look, let me have this conversation with my children and let them know, listen,
Better.
this area and that area, nobody supposed to be touching you in that area. Ain't nobody gotta see you, and nobody gotta take you in the bathroom. You know how to go to the bathroom by yourself. Nobody needs to go into the stall with you. Go in there by yourself. And if somebody coming in there with you, scream to the top of your voice. Tell them get out, do whatever you gotta do, kick them, do whatever you got to do. Make sure nobody's in the stall with you. You got to have these kind of conversations. You got to let them boys know. Listen, if Uncle Tibby too touchy feely, because ain't no man want you to always, come on, man, come on, let's go. I don't want Uncle Tibby to be always rubbing, touching on my sons like that. Uncle Tibby, you okay? You okay? Nah. You don't need it. You don't need to touch him like that. He good. He good. We gotta say stuff, Let your sons know. Hey, come on with all this touching and feeling. No, I don't want to go no place with you.
I don't trust him just because his name Tibby.
Yeah. You better tell him.
I'm mad because they don't name you Tibby.
You better give him a TLC. No, I don't want your number. No, I don't want to get in your car. You better sing something so you'll know. They'll know. Hey, no.
Get your hands off me,
no.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
I am a boy, Damon.
I ain't laughing.
Hey, we gotta take a break. We always take a break an hour in. We're actually past time to take a break, but we're gonna take this break right quick. We're gonna play a few commercials. When we come back, I want y'all to call in. I want y'all to put some comments up.
We thank you for all the comments that have been coming so far.
Yes, we thank y'all. We want y'all to continue to comment, continue to share the video. We got another hour of the show to go. But I gotta get me some more water and something else to eat because I am a little hungry, so I gotta get a little snack.
You just eat an orange?
Yeah, but I need more. So we got another hour.
Pandemic, quit eating up all the food.
Please shut up. You're already too close to me. What happened to social distancing? Hey, we're coming right back, y'all. Don't touch that dial. We appreciate you guys. Hey, call somebody up. Call a friend. Tell them to tune in.
Let me play the commercial.
We've been through hell and back on this earth. Like we're two gangs trying to fight and love the turf. When all we really need to do is listen to each other's views on things. Cause that's the only way to maintain.
Do you have an event that you're planning and you need a DJ that knows how to keep the party going? A DJ that has great music selection and knows how to keep the flow? Well, look no further because Do It All Productions is here. Do It All Productions professional DJ service of the Low Country can provide your event with the music and style you desire. Whether it's a wedding, a prom, a birthday, a family reunion, or even a church event, we provide music of all genres, from gospel to pop and everything in between as long as it's clean. From country to classic, from soul to jazz, we provide the music that will make your next event unforgettable. Do It All Production professional DJ services of the Low Country covers all of Savannah, Beaufort, and Charleston and all surrounding areas. Call today to book your next event by texting 912-312-7240 or 843-263-9358. When you call, ask about our additional service like event photography, videography, MC service, and event planning. Do It All Productions, professional DJ service of the Low Country. Make the call and check one more thing off your list.
Are you new to the Charleston area? Or have you been here a while but still haven't found a reliable barber? Well, look no further than the new Upscale Unlimited Family Grooming Incorporated. 843-263-9358. Text today with professional services and A-plus hospitality. You will always leave Upscale Unlimited feeling and looking your best. With an atmosphere as comfortable as your own home, you can relax and unwind as the professional and licensed hair care specialist gives you the style and cut to suit your individual and specific style. Find us on Facebook as you search Upscale Unlimited Family Grooming Incorporated, located 4303 Bream Road, Unit 47. You can even book your next appointment directly from the Facebook page and receive a special discount. Upscale Unlimited, the name speaks for itself.
Flip it.
Sometimes you really need to clean, but you just don't have the time. So next time, call the professionals of Squeaky Cleaner. Whether it's a light touch-up or a deep cleaning, the professional care and concern of Squeaky Cleaner cannot be beat. Call 843-263-9379 for your free estimate today. It could be one room or the entire house. No job is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, and church cleanings are available. If you're the type of person that knows that cleaning has to be done right, then you're the type of person that needs to call Squeaky Cleaner. Call 843-263-9379. That's 843-263-9379. Squeaky Cleaner. You live life and we'll clean it.
Oh, hi, Jessica.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Is Megan there?
Sure, follow me. The kids are in the kitchen making sandwiches.
Hey, Julie. Hi, Megan. Hey, Megan.
Yeah?
You're a total freak. God, you're ugly. And dumb. Oh, and your makeup makes you look like a tramp. Tommy Morris told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. The whole school knows. He said your breath smelled like garbage. And that dress is totally hideous. You look like a big fat clown. Disgusting. Oh, and by the way, nice zit.
If you wouldn't say it in person, why say it online? Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
If you know like I know, then you know that every season is sports season, and 'tis the season to elevate your jersey game with Elevated Sportswear. Elevated Sportswear has the best in authentic jerseys from every sport, every size, and every team. You name it, they got it. Elevated Sportswear is your one-stop shop for all your team needs. They also customize team jerseys, offer jersey dresses for the ladies, and jerseys for your pets too. As a bonus exclusively for the RPP family, if you text ELEVATE, that's ELEVATE, to 864-501-7373, you can get an additional exclusive RPP discount off of the already low prices. And they have free shipping live. Elevated Sportswear, taking your jersey game to the next level. We've been to hell and back on this earth. Right way to get stratified and lost the turn. When all we really need to do is listen to each other's views on things. Cause that's the only way to maintain good love. Sometimes we get stuck on our own love. To have been a sweating us. Listen. When the table listen to one another. We made it this far. Because we're going to make it.
Good evening, good evening. We are back. Y'all know what it is. It is Love, Marriage, and Ministry social media talk show. We appreciate you guys being with us on tonight. All of you that are in the building, we appreciate the comments that you're putting up. New comment by Pastor Lawrence Washington. We appreciate you, man of God. The man of God says, touch is one of the most powerful blessings that God gave us. The first time you met your mother, it was her touch. Amen. And that's definitely a true, and that's a sacred thing. And that touching is something that we definitely got to teach our children about, to know what a good touch is and what a bad touch is. It's all a part of protecting our children. Our topic tonight is protecting our children. We've been talking about a why, and that is a very broad statement, and we realize that. That's why we've been talking about trafficking. We're talking about physical and sexual abuse from the home to the streets, even the abuse that is suffered by our children at the hands of law enforcement. That's a big issue. These are issues that we're dealing with in our society, and we must realize that it is all of our problems. It's not our problem just when it comes to our home. It's our problem because it's in our society. It's in our neighborhoods. We have to teach our children, not just teach them, but protect them. Teaching is a part of protecting them, giving them the knowledge necessary to know how to navigate in this very dangerous world. We are living in a dangerous world, especially for children. This world is especially dangerous for children. And we have to realize that, and we have to acknowledge that. We have to embrace the fact that it is our job to protect our children. We all have a responsibility. Even if you don't have children at all, if you have never given birth to children, you still have a responsibility to the village. You have a responsibility to the society. And we have to understand that. We have to take that into consideration on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. We can't just blow children off and act like what they say, it don't matter. Oh, you know, children be saying some things and children mind the foolish mind of a child. Man, please. You better pay attention to what's going on. Children trying to reach out for help and trying to get somebody to listen to them because they got issues. They got things going on. We got to be open up these lines of communication. Am I be trying to talk to them? Children don't want to talk to me. Because look how you be coming at them.
Right.
What wrong with you?
Become fussing.
I don't want that. Nothing. I'm good. I'm good. How was your day? Good. Them teachers saying, I'm glad they ain't call me. I'm glad they ain't call you too. Jesus. You know, we gotta calm down and set the atmosphere for communication. A lot of times we're not setting the atmosphere for children to open up to us. Yep. And we're not even giving them the freedom to say, maybe you don't want to talk to me, but maybe, you know, I see you always talking with your auntie. I see you always talking with your uncle. You know, it's okay to talk to them about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Give them the freedom to say, you know, I know you talk to Pastor. Pastor's there. If you want to talk, if you don't want to open up to us, make sure it's okay for your child to open up to somebody. Right. Give them that green light to get the things off their chest. Because one thing I did learn, and I was thinking about this before we took the break, when you were saying the last thing that you were saying about communication, is that if you don't talk about it, you'll never get over it.
Right.
The only way we get over emotional and physical things that have happened to us in the past is talking. They got a whole field that covers that, and that's psychology. That's what psychology is all about. You go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. They're two different things. But if you go see either one of them, the first thing they're going to do is talk to you.
That's the problem.
And try to get you to talk to them. Because you're going to have to talk it out. Whatever it is, we got to talk it out. The reason why our ancestors and predecessors had our family so jacked up, because nobody was talking.
Right.
Nobody was talking. Nobody was saying nothing about nothing. Like Sister Priester came and said, yeah, they grew up with the, hey, what happened in my house, stay in my house. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it is.
A recipe for disaster. Because some of the things going on in some of our houses, somebody else needs to know about.
They do.
To help us.
They do.
There was a lot of situations I was in personally as a child that I had no right being in. I was in life-threatening situations or detrimental situations that I had no right being in. It's just through the grace of God that I made it. But I understand that not everybody makes it. And we got to understand that. You may have made it, but that don't mean for every one of you that have made it, there's hundreds of children that didn't make it. There's hundreds of people on your same grade level, your same age level, your graduating class, not from your particular school, but from the year you graduated. I graduated in 1988, and there's a whole lot of people that graduated in 1988 that didn't make it all the way out.
Right.
Because just because a person makes it physically out of a situation, don't mean they make it out emotionally or mentally.
Yep.
Think about it.
And then, and another thing, what we have to do is, just like we said earlier, just because we went through and faced some situations in our life, is it going to make you be an ugly individual or be a new individual? That's the only two cool words I could think of to say this now. Because sometimes when we get to the point and we allow things to affect our lives so badly, and we never address those things, we just keep bearing it and bearing it and bearing it. And then we turn around and guess what we do? We start having children. And when we start having children, now, because this is the things that I went through in my life and I buried it. Now, and if I see this happening to my child, now I'm mad at them. Or I'm lashing out at them.
They bringing up stuff that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, or things that took place in my past, and it is your fault. Just to be plain and simple, it's your fault. It's your fault because you buried so much of things, and every time somebody talk about corn, now you talk about, I remember when we was little, all we had to do, we go right on back into this whole spill about, and people looking at you like, man, I didn't even know it was affecting your life like that. We just not gonna buy corn no more. We don't know. And that's why you have to address situations. The corn was just an illustration, but little things that can come back to our lives and make us think about things that took place in our past, it should not still affect you. If you talked about it, why it affects us? Because we never addressed the issue.
We'll talk about
because we never talked about it. Because we went to, or we did, or we went to the wrong person because we came to who we thought was the right person to talk to, and they're looking at it like, man, you mean to tell me you went through that? Man, get over that. You can get up. Then people come and they respond the wrong way. Just like I see Pastor Washington say, soft answer turns. A soft answer definitely does turn, because if somebody is coming to you and they're coming to you about some situations and things that they're dealing with, we have to learn how to have some compassion for people. Because if you don't have compassion for people, it's like you just as worse as the person that put them in that situation. And so when it comes down to it, we have to learn how to be compassionate when it comes down to people and the things that they went through. And when it comes down to the people that are going through things, you have to learn how to talk to God, and you have to learn to say, God, I have this right here is eating me up. It eats me up every day.
Right.
And I really need to get this thing off me. I really need to have somebody that I can talk to be able to get this thing off of me. Because if we continue to just keep covering it up and covering it up and covering it up, it's just like you had people say, when you keep piling stuff up under a rug, then you will eventually see that pile up under a rug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you eventually
It's not
gonna
gonna
trip
stay
over
hidden. Yeah, it's get big.
So when you get to the point to things that done piled up and you starting to trip over, Travis Jenkins says a lot of people, parents don't realize the number one cause of death with teenagers is suicide. Their problems eat them up so much to where they feel like if they weren't here, things would be better. And you know, that is such a true statement because a lot of people or younger people would just go ahead and take their lives and end it all because they feel like I ain't got to go through all of this. And if I wasn't here, I wouldn't even know I'm going through it. Or I wouldn't even feel all this. Or I wouldn't hear all of this. Or I wouldn't have to endure all of this. And that's what was one time that was something that a lot of kids were doing. And I thank God that that has gone away because it was a whole lot of suicide with younger
going
people.
away. It might have reduced.
Yeah,
It ain't
well,
going away.
reduced. And you know that was a big thing back then. And I can truly say I'm glad that you don't hear about that so much. You know, and I feel for the parents that had to go through that because that was the route that their child took to get rid of whatever that they were going through. But as parents, you know, sometimes, you know, we just have to see the signs. And we cannot, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let, you know, Derek talk. As parents, we cannot allow our children to just say, I'm just going to be in my room all the time. This is my room. Don't come in my room. There's no trespassing. You got no trespassing. I can't come in your room. I can't talk to you. We can't have no kind of conversations. No, wait a minute now. I can see you in my house, you know, and I got to know what's going on in my house. And your room is my house. You know, is you just, you know, a loner. You know, this isn't your house until, you know, you're paying the mortgage and it's in your name. You understand what I'm saying? We got to be able to talk to our children, let them know anytime I want to walk in this room, I'm going to come in here. You got to put your foot down from the beginning. That's why the Bible say you have to train them up while they're young. Because if we train them up while they're young, then guess what? They're not going to come and talk to you all kind of harsh kind of ways. They're not going to treat you like, oh, you better not come and step to me. You better not say this to me and say that to me.
Respect my privacy.
Yeah, how that look? Now I'm having a whole blown out fist throwing. We putting hands on each other like we two people in the street. You know, it should never get to that point where this is how we feel, or we should never get to that point to where we feel like, okay, I know these my kids, you know, I know something might be going on, but they don't want to be bothered right now. You know, they don't want anyone to, you know, please don't go in their room because they don't want nobody in their rooms. And, you know, y'all, let me make y'all laugh. My daughter told me the other day when she was leaving and going for work, she said, Mama, I'm about to go to work. And please don't let nobody go in my room, especially don't let Darius go in there because I don't want nobody in my room. I said, where your room at though? Because I'm just letting you borrow that room for a little while because you almost out my house.
You know where you get a room at? The hotel,
Yeah.
when you pay for it. Then that's your room. Ain't nobody gonna come in and you put the do not disturb sign. Ain't nobody gonna come in there and do nothing in your room.
Yeah.
That's where you get a room. When you pay for it, you get a room. Till you pay for it, you don't have a room.
Right.
You don't have no room.
And we gotta understand that you as a parent, we have to speak up. You can't be afraid of your children. And you can't be afraid to discuss things with them. You can't be afraid to address situations with them. You just can't be afraid. Because if you're afraid to have conversations with your children, then guess what? They're going to be to the point where like, I don't respect you. I ain't got nothing to say to you. I don't want to talk to you. That's how they will begin to treat you because they don't have that respect for you that like a child should.
And the thing about it, we're talking about protecting our children. These things are protecting them, helping them realize I'm protecting you by letting you know you don't own nothing.
Right.
Because I don't want you to go out there in the world with a sense of entitlement because you're going to be disappointed.
Yep.
You don't own anything. I'm protecting you by teaching you responsibility. I'm protecting you by teaching you how to earn things. I'm protecting you by teaching you to build your work ethic. When I say you don't own anything in here, it's not out of a place of trying to hurt you. I'm trying to make sure you stay woke and keep your eyes open. Because you don't own some, just because you're in a space don't mean you own it. And see, these are the kind of attitudes that a lot of this new generation has, this sense of entitlement that the world owes them something.
Right.
And that they don't really have to work for it. Everything should be given to them. That's not the kind of house we run.
Right.
Why? Because I'm protecting my children. I'm protecting them by giving them the tools they need to operate in this world.
Mhm.
So that when you get out here, you're not being jacked up by the world every to and fro. Every time you turn around, something's coming at you, because that in itself can cause you to turn into some monster.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So at the same time, we got to understand that in our house, and we're not telling anybody how to run your house. We're just sharing what goes on in our house.
Mhm.
There are times in our house when we make our children be social. You're gonna be social.
Mhm.
You're not gonna spend every day in my house closed up in a room that I'm allowing you to stay in,
Okay.
and then you got boundaries for everybody else. They can't come in there. No. Sometimes we make them come right on out them rooms and come on downstairs. And sometimes we go right up in there and see what's going on.
Yeah, man.
When they ain't in there or when they in there, I go right up in there sometimes. I go up in there, I pull open drawers, I look in closets, I peek under beds. That's my job.
Yeah, because you don't want to be that parent that you never go in there and come to find out when you do go in there one day, they got all these
Almost got the whole
assault
bomb built.
rifles.
The
They
whole
got it.
bomb done been built. They waiting
Yeah.
on one more piece to come in from Amazon.
You flip their laptop open or computer open, and you go to their
The
history.
bomb
They're
is built.
Googling how to destroy this, how to kill this.
They're just
person.
waiting on the detonation switch to come in.
Yeah, you look at it and say, "What the devil?"
You getting packaged. How you get all that? First of all, you ain't bringing it in. Some of it you had it shipped in. You got churn. Would my churn get a package? Hey, open it up right here. Let me see what that is there. Open it up. Because I didn't even know you had a package coming. Or they come, by the time they come home, oh, your package on the table. Oh, Daddy, you don't open my package, you darn right. You get no package in my house. You getting packaged, you just ordering up stuff. Let me see.
With no label, no return label. Who that come
Let
from?
me see. Amazon just dropping off. I can't afford to order nothing. And every time I turn around, you got a package coming. Something wrong. Something wrong. I want to see. I want to see. Because by right, any package coming there, we should know what's coming. Because this ain't your house. So why you getting mail delivered here? I want to know what's going on. She just look like that because she get a lot of packages. But she all right. She her clearance level is high enough to receive packages.
I couldn't even say that. I felt like I would be a hypocrite.
Her clearance. She got a high enough clearance. Her codes are good. But for the rest of these jokers, these temporary living people, they're just here for a short time. Yeah, I'm gonna open up every box, every package. You're lucky I don't open up your mail. Sometimes I see where the mail coming from. Okay, go ahead, take that. But when I see mail, they ain't got no nothing. I don't know nothing where it's coming from. Oh, I'm gonna open that. Or handwritten. Oh, it's handwritten. I'm probably gonna open that.
Yeah, man.
Especially if it ain't got no name on. Yeah, I want to know who you communicating with. See, we ain't gotta worry about that too much because children don't know how to write letters.
No, they don't write on letters.
They don't even know how. They barely know how to write their name. Because that's the way school got them now. Society. But sometimes we snatch the phones. Let me see what's going on here.
I need to see.
Bring me that. Unlock it. Let me see. And I'm going to go flip through it. And, oh, Lord, if they ever just refuse to give up the phone, that phone is good as broke. They're not going to keep that. They're not going to keep that. You're not going to just the way we were raised. We ain't raised with that you running the house and we in the corner like
we scared.
Yeah. We just ain't never scared. And if you that bold and you want a bucket, hey, see the door right there? You're more than welcome to leave.
Oh, yeah, man.
If you mess around with these type of parents, you can come home and your key might not work.
Right.
I'm just saying. I'll change a lock real quick. I'm very handy with screwdrivers and drills and stuff. It won't take me but a few minutes to change a lock. I ain't gonna real tussle with you. If you all big up, okay.
If they what?
Big up. You know what they make for big up people? Restraining orders and handcuffs. And I'll slap it on you. Like I said, understand me. And I'm not, it might sound funny, but trust me when I say, ain't no loyalty, ain't no family loyalty when you coming in at me with a harmful intent.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Are you coming at my children with a harmful intent? I got one blood brother. And if I even thought for a second he was this type of dude, I'll have that nigga in jail so fast. I'd be there on the day of arraignment. I'd be there at the arrest, and I'd be there, and I'd be pointing around. Yeah, he could be. Oh, I'm gonna get you good. I'll be waiting on you when you get out.
Mr. Clark, see, you're talking, but you know where they saying it from?
Outside.
Outside.
Man, come on, man. Time out for all this fearful, especially with children of God, man. It's time out for us being so scared. We scared to say something to our own children. We scared to speak to the neighbors. We scared to do this. This is why Corona got us so jammed up, because we scared. We scared. So anything that come across the phone, we believe it. We believe the phone more than we believe TV. We believe what come across our phone is the gospel. I just saw it. It came across my phone the other day. So what? You know how many lies come across your phone on a daily basis? You know how much false and fake news come across your phone on a daily basis? You don't even go and check with the real news sources because we don't give up TV. So we don't go to the CNN and the ABCs and the Fox network. We just, hey, if it say Fox and it's on my phone, that must be it. I don't see so much fake news come out with the real news label, but it be fake news because we ain't turning to the networks no more. We on social media. Man, come on, man, catch your sense. At least if nothing else, get you some apps on your phone to the real media links,
Right?
So that you can check on some of this. Like when this Corona thing jump off, we was getting all kind of they were telling us we were going into martial law, like they was had curfews going on that wasn't real. They kept saying that the National Guard was put into motion and they're gonna have the tanks and the troops on the streets in a minute. I ain't never seen none of that. Now they opening up and I ain't never seen it. What happened to all of that? And some of y'all, the same ones, was sending forwarding some of that crap to my phone. Some of y'all, the same ones, believing it. Oh, look what they about to do. Oh, look what they say. Oh, look what about to happen. Steady sending it. Huh? I don't even know. I'm coming back. Because this is a part. No, what took us that way was educating our children is a part of protecting them. And when we're so quick to pass on this misinformation, you know what I'm saying? How are you educating? How are you preparing your child for the world?
Right.
If you eating everything that coming your way, and then you teach your child to eat everything that come their way, this is why the world got us.
Yep.
This is why society it gets our children. Our children are out there with no protection. Yep. Our children are in the streets with no protection. They're shooting them down. They're giving them life sentences. There are people that kill black people that get 2, 3, 4, 5 years or no time at all.
Yeah.
There's one young lady we were talking about, killed for fear of her life, 14-year-old child. They tried her like an adult and gave her life.
Yep.
Come on, man. How are you protecting your children when they're going out here getting themselves in situations in harm's way? You understand what I'm saying? We gotta have some kind of moral compass that helps us to want to protect our children. We need to hear from you guys. Hey, the phone lines are open. 843-648-1239. This is an interactive show.
Oh yeah.
We love the responses that we're getting. We're getting a lot of responses. Deacon Travis Jenkins Sr. said, it took me 28 years to realize I never had any privacy, and I turned out swell. Privacy is overrated to an extent.
You turned out swell.
That's true. That's true. Privacy, I wouldn't say is overrated, but privacy is something, like I say, you got to pay for. Privacy ain't free. You have no right to privacy when you're in the house living free.
Celebrities ain't got no privacy.
The paparazzi is real.
Yes.
Privacy is not earned. You know when you get privacy? When you pay for it. You pay for the right security. You pay for the right shade of tint on your limo. You pay for that hotel room. You pay for that to rent out the entire penthouse floor. That's how you get privacy.
Yep.
That's how you get it.
It's costly.
You buy the land where your front gate is automatically locked, and it's like a mile from your house, so they can't just come knocking on your door. You got privacy. You can't have your house, be a celebrity, have your house living here in River's Edge, and you famous and you mad because people keep coming knock on your door. Yeah, you ain't paying enough for privacy to be. If you this is where you at, you need to pay a little more so you can go into what they call them gated communities because they got privacy. You can't roll up in there. There's somebody they're paying to stand to the gate and see if you're supposed to be in there.
Yep.
And give you a pass, and it's only for a day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's privacy.
And you gotta turn the pass.
You literally gotta pay for privacy. In no way, shape, or form do you get privacy. We are a huge family by today's standards, and we don't get privacy. People walking on you in the bathroom.
I'll be on the toilet.
We got bathroom door on either side. They come from any direction. You
right there and
you just don't get it.
Like,
especially if they don't care. How you dress or what you got going on. They're just family. You just walk right on it. Kids just walk right on it. Right. You got to pay for privacy. Now I can get privacy, but I have to do a whole lot of yelling and fussing and threatening to get it. But I'm paying. So I'm me and this woman here, the only two that can even have an argument for privacy. But these are the things we have to teach our children, because that helps them to understand how the world works. Yep. That helps them to understand that when you get out in the world, there's certain rules you have to understand and deal with. So we got to understand that protecting our children is more than standing guard over them, but it's educating them.
Yeah, it is.
It's empowering them. It's helping them to understand how the world works. This is how I protect them. I give them the tools they need to survive. Mm-hmm. That's protecting our children. And we have to understand that we're just not talking, for those of you that are just joining us, we are talking about children in general. Yep. We're not saying protecting my children. Nope. We protecting all of our children.
We're trying to bring the village back.
Those runaways, those that are being trafficked, we have to have some concern, because any moment, any time, any day, it could be your child. Yep. You could say, "Oh, it'll be my turn," any day, unless you homeschooling and you ain't letting them go absolutely nowhere out your sight. It could be your child. You could be in the mall. Your child said, "Mama, go to the bathroom." All right, hurry up. I got teenage boys that I don't like them to go to the bathroom by themselves. If one go, know what I say? Go with your brother. Because I don't play that. Mm-hmm. I don't play that. I don't trust nobody. Because the Bible tell me that. My Bible say, what your Bible say, baby?
My Bible say don't trust them because there's something else.
Trust no man.
Oh, yeah, with the real
She got a different.
You said my
I realized that I messed up when I said that. So my Bible say, trust no man. So I don't trust. I could be visiting your church. I might be a little leery. Hey, go with my boy. I don't want nobody feeling him up, groping him. You know what I'm saying? Threatening him. You know how they do? Grope him up. You better not tell nobody. I'm gonna kill your whole family.
Tell nobody but God.
Got to turn scared to report the incident. That ain't how it works. We got to come together. Come on, y'all. Talk to me. The phone line is open. 843-648-1239. You can continue to put your comments up. Remember, we on Facebook Live. We on YouTube Live. This is an open talk show. It's the talk show, interactive. You're more than welcome to be a part of it. While I got this on my mind, I need you guys to check out our YouTube channel and definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to be able to go live mobile with our YouTube after the pandemic and everything's over. So we need our subscription numbers to come up. So we ask you, not just you, your entire household, the family, while we're on this pandemic, you can't go nowhere. You stuck in the house, we stuck in the house. Go ahead and subscribe. Just help us get our subscription numbers up so we can go live mobile with our YouTube. Amen.
Makiba Allen says, we have to teach them accountability for every action that they make, whether it's good or bad.
Amen.
And that's the truth, because sometimes we just let things slide. A lot of times people like, well, I ain't gonna say nothing this time. I know they take that out the store, but I ain't gonna say nothing this time. I know they probably just say a bad word one time, but I ain't gonna say nothing. They're just a kid. It's so cute. You hear how they say it? They ain't even put it in the right sentence. See, we be thinking them kind of thing cute, but let me tell you something. When they start saying words and I've been saying, you better snatch them up and let them know. Don't ever say that word again. Don't ever do that again. And we couldn't say lying behind when we was little. And let me tell you something. When they go in that store and they pick up something, it ain't there, and you done walk out the store now. You turn around. Okay, and you turn around and they got something, and you say, "Oh, just put it in your pocket this time," and you don't say nothing. You just training up a thief.
My oldest son just turned 28 in April, this past April. When that joke was about 3 years old, we was in the grocery store, Bilo, Buford. Remember like it was yesterday. Bilo.
Scarred.
Right there on Reebok, on Boundary. Bilo. We in there, he asking for candy. I already had candy for him in the car. No, you can't have that. I got candy for you in the car. He mad. We walk around, so I continue shopping. We go through the checkout. We check out. We get outside. I look down. Candy bar in his hand. Why, boy, that was the maddest I've ever been at him at that point in his life. I marched that little joke up. I put my bags in the car, my bought groceries, my purchased items in my car, and I marched that little joker right back into that store, and I made him hand it back and apologize to the store manager. Oh yeah, he was crying, but I want him to understand that's not what we do.
No, man.
That's not what we do. I mean, you got to teach your child. I don't care if you might say, well, you ain't had to do that. You could have just bought the candy. No, that's what y'all do.
Yeah.
They don't steal it and then you go back and pay for the stolen merchandise. No, you're gonna take it back and you're gonna apologize.
And
why? Because one reason. I said no. Period. I'm the parent. The little girl mocking me? Sounds like she mocking me.
We're gonna let y'all see our company in a minute.
But I said no, and that's it. So you can't have it. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have to explain to you that, don't worry about it. I got candy in the car. No, I said no, period. That's it. Point blank. I'm the daddy. Hey, that's it. We got to be willing to stand up and be the parent.
You got to be.
And when they little, like this cute little baby girl about to come around here and get on camera with us, when they that little, that's the butt cutting age. See, if you do enough butt cutting when they 2, 3, and 4, you ain't gonna have to worry about them later. You ain't got to worry about them later. This is our goddaughter. We've been missing her. We hadn't seen her for almost 2 years. Last time we seen her, she was 2. She just turned 4 the other day. High five, birthday girl. She turned 4.
She was hungry. She back here eating chicken.
But this our baby. She come and spend some time with us, and we love her like she's our very own, our goddaughter. But if she got a line as cute as she is, I would tear that behind up. I would tear her behind up, and I would not feel bad about it. She'll get a behind cut. But when she do get, a little sassy, we hey, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. See, when they this cute, the problem is y'all don't be wanting to do nothing because they too cute. Y'all think it's cute at this size to be cussing. Oh, look what she say. See it again. Go ahead, get it, little mama. And we got the camera on. What do you think you teaching them? You getting them ready. That again, like we said in the first half of the show, this might as well be a piece of meat, and I'm slathering her up with some barbecue sauce, and then throwing her out there to the wolves, and then wonder why the wolves keep coming at her.
Okay.
Buying her all her clothes is tight. All she got is tights. All she got is little shorts, little booty shorts. They making booty shorts for the little babies, all cut up in their crotch. And you talking about, oh, that's cute. Oh, look at it, that's cute. That look like Mama Aunt. Mama Aunt is too tight. That look, look how he look. Oh, look at little mama. Man, please. Little babies like this, you weaving them up, snatching all the baby's edges. Come on, man. What you getting them ready for? What you getting them ready for? You putting nails on them. They trying to put lashes on them nowadays. And then when they get in their teens and they slapping you in your mouth and telling you about yourself, you wondering what going on with these children today. Ain't nothing going on. This is the product of what you created. This is what you get. If I put all the ingredients in the bowl, I mix it up, I put it in the pan, I stick it in the oven. Trust me when I say I am not surprised when the cake comes out the oven. That's what I put into the oven. That's what I mixed into the bowl. I put the eggs and the sugar and the butter together. I put the flour and put it all together. And I turned the oven on and I stuck it in there. Because that's what you're doing when you are prepping these children to be, act, and feel grown when they shouldn't be. When we were little, we played with toys and watched cartoons.
Yes.
These children don't want no toys and don't want no cartoons. You giving them phones. You giving them phones because you think, oh, they're going to play their games on there. Yeah, they're going to play their games on there. And they're going to watch YouTube on there. And they're gonna see whatever else that the enemy got popping up on them screens too. You giving 5, 6, and 7-year-olds computers to put in their hand and have access to the world, and you don't think nothing's gonna happen. You don't think nothing's gonna go sideways with that. Man, stop.
And you know the crazy part about it is, we feel like, okay, well, this is the only way to get them to be quiet. This is the only way to settle them down. Let me just go ahead and go ahead and take this and go ahead. But you know, I tell people all the time, because I work with children and I work in, with, teaching children and different things like that. And, some of the sad parts about my day when I'm with the children is they don't even know how to use a crayon. They don't want to hold a crayon. They think messing with glue is disgusting.
You know what that
They
is?
they don't want to touch things like Play-Doh. They don't want to do things like that. But if you turn the TV on or you give them a computer, it's fine with things like that. And I feel like it's the parents' fault. It's our fault that our children don't want to touch crayons, or they don't know how to hold a crayon, or how to even hold a pencil, because we don't teach them things like that.
I'm gonna tell you about this fella I know. Had a child that he always had a tablet in his hand, like many of you guys do. You'll have tablets or phones or iPads, whatever, to give to the children. And they look so smart when they're doing it. They're very intelligent. They know how to work it. They know how to swipe left, swipe right. They know how to bring their little things up that they like to do and all that. And that's wonderful. But what happened to my friend, when the child went to school, they called him to come to the school and to let him know that the child had no motor skills. This is what you're taking away from your child. When you give them something, you're taking something away from them. When we were learning how to handle pencils, pens, and crayons, these children don't deal with writing instruments. But when they go to school, they are going to have to deal with some writing instruments, because they have to check a child's motor skills. You can be smart as you want up here, but if you can't articulate or write what you're talking and what's going on up here to put the right answers on the paper or speak the right answers out your mouth, there's what they call is a lack of motor skills. And not having proper motor skills cause you to be behind. And to be behind a level that you're supposed to be on technically means you're retarded. Special needs. We can't say retarded anymore. I don't know what happened to that, but okay, special needs. It means you're special needs. But when you look up the word retarded, it's still in the dictionary. So go look it up. It's still in the dictionary. It means something. It has a meaning. So if you want your child to be special needs with just an excuse for the state to put them on medication that the school gets paid for, and the state gets a certain amount of money for having a certain amount of children on these special needs medication, you better understand what's going on around you and the gaping hole that our children are falling into because of our lack of participation, lack of concern, lack of whatever. We're allowing it to happen. They tell you, oh, your child needs to put on medication. Yeah, he probably do need some medication. How you know? Give me a second opinion. You ain't just going to dope up my child because you say so.
Right.
Because they're a little behind. But your children are behind because nowadays we don't want to teach them at home. They'll be all right. They'll be in school next year.
That's why a lot of people...
They can start learning this year.
That's why a lot of people are having a little trouble now with trying to teach their kids from home, because they was never doing it. They had to sit to just give them a computer and be like, man, go do your work. But now we have to teach them at home, which is what we should have been doing from the beginning.
Children out here like it's summertime.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You have to, as a parent, we're supposed to be our children's first teachers, and teach them, the things that they're gonna need in life, teach them the skills that they're gonna need in life. Like my son is, how about is 15, but about to be 16.
16 in August.
But he started working when he was 14. So he said, Mom, when I go get my job, can I start a bank account? And so I said, of course. So once, we went out and we got his bank account started and different things like that, you have to put your signature on there. And so I said, right, you have to print your name and then sign it. So he prints his name on the first line and then he prints his name again. So I say, when it says signature, you have to sign your name. Did y'all know that they quit teaching the kids cursive and different things? They don't even have that no more in school. Like teaching them cursive and different things like that, having a signature. So I tell them, you're gonna have to learn how to have a signature. You gotta learn how to write in cursive, because if you just write in your name, when you get older and you still don't know how to write in cursive, anybody can forge your name on anything because you don't have a signature. So I had to teach him. You got to have a signature. You got to figure out a way, to make your signature and not just your handwriting. So a lot of the things that we were taught back in the day when we were in school, they quit teaching it, and a lot of the things I feel are so necessary. A lot of things that we learn, I feel like they should have it still implemented in school nowadays. Like we used to have home ec classes, and we had cooking classes, we were sewing, we had photography classes, learning how to use cameras and different things and stuff like that. Man, we had art class where we was using pottery, learning how to make things. They had when you went to CEC, right? They had automotive classes and all these different kind of things. But these are kind of things that it might seem like, man, anybody will go to a shop class. And yeah, these are some things that are good skills that should still be implemented. But a lot of people, a lot of schools, they quit with that kind of stuff like that. And even while the kids were
shout out to North Charleston, they're building
they're building they are. And
school right across from the high school.
Even when my son was in school, he just graduated 2014, something like that. Whatever year Dr. Well graduated, they were trying to take band music out of school.
That was 2000.
Whatever. They were trying to take music out of school. So when they done take all of these extracurricular things out of school, then what is it that the kids going to do? They're just going to go there and be bored and be mad because they got to sit in the class all day. When you're still young and different things like that, you got to have an outlet, and then we wonder why the kids go to class and they're acting out. Because like, oh man, I don't want to hear y'all doing all this talking all day. Some people just have skills and talents that they just want to, put into place.
But that's a lot of that. I feel, it's just me, that a lot of that slack can be taken up. We have the means, the resource, and the personnel to pick up the slack that the government might not.
Yeah, some in some cases. Yeah.
In some cases, I'm talking overall. I'm not talking about church by church.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm talking about overall as the church body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We can. It's very doable that we can implement programs within our ministries to help.
Right.
We can do after school programs to help. Well, they ain't teaching you this in school, but we can teach you this.
Yeah, man.
We can take time out to help you. We can help you with your reading. We can have music programs. We got instruments. We can definitely have some music. We got musicians that understand, some read and write music. So we can have classes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We can be doing way more than what we're doing.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Right. As the body of Christ, we can be doing way more. And it's good if you're doing it. If you're doing it, great. Teach somebody else how to do it.
Yep.
Help somebody else get it started in their church. Help somebody else to get it started in their city, in their part of town, in their county.
You know what? I just thought about it. A lot of us that have churches and different things like that, and some of us, we have those things implemented in our sanctuary. And you know what? We know how to help other people to get their started. But what some people may be thinking, and I'm not saying that they are, but some people may be thinking, well, I don't want to teach them that because then they'll have it at their church, and then the people will want to go over there and learn at their church. But we got to understand that, guess what? If I know something and I know how to teach somebody, I can help somebody get this thing started, then what I might be doing over here in North Charleston, you could be doing the same thing in Beaufort, or you could be doing the same thing in Savannah, North Carolina,
Pennsylvania, North Dakota,
you
California.
You can do the same thing in North Charleston, because whoever God has for a Truth Foundation, they're going to be there. They're going to come there. They're going to learn what they need to learn. And if and ever they have to leave, then their time and season must be up.
Let me add to this, though, but I'm not trying to interrupt you, but to add to that, because if a person's thinking like that, then you're not doing it for the betterment of the children.
You're not.
You got ulterior motives. If you're thinking that this is a good idea to get people in my church, then stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. because that's not even what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the only other thing I was going to say is, if you know how to do a thing, then what's wrong with teaching somebody else so that they can help? This is how the church world builds and helps one another, because I know how to do a thing. Okay, and I know this is what you want to implement at your church. Okay, I can help you. We can't even be afraid to want to go into our brothers and sisters like, listen, we're trying to put this up, or we're trying to get this started too. Can you give me some instructions or give me some tips on how to get it started? If we get the competition mentality out of our mind, then we'll be able to be helpers one to another. We like to say the scripture, we like to talk about the scripture and say we're helpers one to another, but then we don't really want to help one another.
Are you really?
So if you know how to do a thing, if you know how to help somebody in this area, then don't be afraid to help them. If they come to you and ask them, then go ahead and help them. And then guess what? Don't turn around and tell everybody, say, yeah, but they didn't know how to do it. I'm the one teach them how to do it. I'm the one that show them how to get it started. Come on, man. If nothing else, through this pandemic, I hope we've learned how to love for real as the body of Christ. I hope we've learned how to love for real as a people. I hope we've learned how to love for real and be helpers one to another.
Amen. With that being said, we done. Our 2 hours is spent. We want to encourage you guys. You can, if you didn't catch this whole show, you can catch the podcast. It will be airing on Exquisite Internet Radio next Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. I am going to go ahead and load it up tonight. I will have it on the our podcast page as well. And I'm going to put that link up before I close out to the podcast page, so you can be able to get our shows. I'm going to load up the last couple of shows as well as we get on into the week. But you can definitely get our podcast. Don't forget to join us in the morning. We got church in the morning. We're going to do our 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Lions Den broadcast, and then we got our Communion Sunday service that you're more than welcome to catch on social media. Remember, we are on Facebook and YouTube. Please check out our live on YouTube on the True Foundation Outreach Ministries page and subscribe to the page. We thank God for this, another mission that God has given us.
Yep.
Love, marriage, and ministry. Every first and third Saturday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then it rebroadcasts every second and fourth Saturday on Exquisite Internet Radio. You can get the Exquisite Internet Radio app from your app store as well. That's available as well. And don't forget to continue to love and support each other for what we got going on. That's all of us. All of us have something going on, and we need to love and support one another. We need to bring our village back.
Yep.
We definitely need to bring our village back. If we bring the village back and we get some more love, concern, and compassion for one another, our children will not be falling through the cracks the way they are. They would not be victims. They would become more victorious and less victims in this world today. Anything you want to say in closing?
No, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate I say no, we didn't start talking. Yes. We just want to say thank y'all for tuning in and talking and chatting with us on tonight. We're grateful for all the comments and input and everything, because as I said before, we're helpers one to another. We don't know everything about love, marriage, and ministry, but the things that we do know, we don't mind helping and teaching it to one another. We love everybody. We pray that you all continue to stay safe. Continue. Y'all see me scratching. I break out often with just hives or what, I don't know what it is, and so I begin to itch. But we just want to say we're grateful. We love everybody. We hope you all are continuing to stay safe. Wear your mask, your gloves, hand sanitizer. Do what you have to do to keep your families covered under the blood.
Amen. She done said it all. Meet us here in the morning on social media for the Lions Den, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. and join us for service at 10 a.m. Probably about 10:30, 11. We only do the word part, but definitely you can join us. We do have Sunday school in the morning as well. So we thank God for each and every one of you for tuning in and logging on. Make sure you go check out the podcast and check us out on Exquisite Internet Radio. All those are available wherever you might be. And we're on social media. We're trying to use every tool that God has given us to continue to uplift God's people. Tonight's topic, protecting our children. Let's bring the village back, y'all. We out. Peace.
We stay together, we can fall apart. Now we can sit back and laugh at all the things we didn't have and how far we came a long way. But we have got to take that, and I'm glad you stood by me even when I was in myself. You still love me better than anyone else. Sometimes we get stuck on our own love. Too happy to sweat us. Listen, when the table listen to one another. We made it this far. Because we wanted to make it this far. Even though sometimes it was hard, boy, we stay together. We didn't fall apart. Good love. Sometimes we get stuck on our own love. Too happy to sweat us. Listen, when the table listen to one another. We made it this far. Because we wanted to.